Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Last night, America, I gave you a choice, and it's really important. Here's the choice. Do we agree with the people in Washington? Now, this is Democrats, Republicans, Independents, the Tea Party. I think this is the average person that is like, yeah, I'm cool with America. Things are unsustainable. Yes, the Obama administration thinks it is too. But we believe in the free market solutions and the small government of the people. We look to our founders for the original intent because our system has been perverted. There are people that are abusing the system. There are people that are abusing each other. There are criminals. There's bribery. There's corruption. So what do? We go back to a small government and we punish the people who are doing the wrong things. But that's not what the Obama administration wants to do. They believe that things are unsustainable, and last night I showed you in their own words, they want to redistribute the wealth, and they also are going for a global government run by elites. Not a conspiracy theory, not at all. It's in their own words. Tonight we're going to take it one step further, a fundamental transformation of America. You cannot look at any story in today's news and make sense of it. None of it makes sense if you look at what we're doing and you look at it with your eyes. You say, what are they doing? But tonight I'm going to show you some more. Look at it through the eyes of the progressives and the massive structure that they're building. Only then can you make sense of what they're doing and the regulation progressives are enforcing to get there. Beware. Progressives will not be up front. They work in the cover of darkness and through manipulation. Their word, not mine. Tonight, we shine the light on them again. Okay, America. Hello. You know it and I know it that almost everything that you own is losing value. It's called deflation. Household wealth has fallen now $1.5 trillion. That's just in the second quarter this year. Household net worth has fallen over $10 trillion since the recession began. Stocks are down almost $2 trillion. You're not making as much money. Unemployment numbers are shooting up. And things aren't much better for the government. An economist now out of Boston University is saying that the government is hiding the true amount of the debt and practicing Enron-like accounting. No. He says that our real debt is 15 times higher than the government estimates. He's calculating it now at $202 trillion if you include the non-budgetary items like unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the defense, the budget, Fannie and Freddie. $202 trillion. Can't get your way out of that box. All right, some of the other things that are happening just in the news today. Been 6 months. Americans still have no idea what's in the health care bill, even though Nancy Pelosi said once it's passed, we'd find out. And oh boy, are we finding out. One thing we do know about the bill, it is now about to destroy private insurance companies, making it more difficult for children to get health insurance. Now, this is something that I told you over a year ago was coming. How did I know that? Well, I'm not a prophet. I'm not a seer. I'm not a revelator. I'm a guy that listens to what they say, and I don't dismiss because it sounds crazy. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on you going, well, no, nobody would do that. No. Yes, they would, and they are. That's how a lot of the stuff that we've talked about the last 3 nights, you knew 15 months ago because I told you it would happen, and now it is. We looked at it. Again, this is what your friends are doing. Your friends are looking at it through their eyes. Well, we believe in the free market. We believe in small government. We got to have, they're still arguing the size of government. Should it be bigger or a little smaller or much bigger or much smaller? No, forget about that. These are the eyes that everything needs to be viewed in, and all of a sudden the news makes sense and you'll be able to predict them. Obama said that his ultimate goal was a single-payer tax system. Now, I told you that when we were going through healthcare, the single-payer system was where he wanted to be. I wasn't guessing. I played his own words. He said that that's what he wanted, and you would have to get there and take it one step at a time. Here's what I played for you.
I happen to be a proponent of a single-payer universal health care plan. Single-payer health care plan. Universal health care plan. That's what I'd like to see. But as all of you know, we may not get there immediately.
Notice the sign underneath him is AFL-CIO. Okay, that was in 2003. I played it for you all during the debate. Nobody would listen. In March, once the health care was passed, notice he doesn't say here that he's against it or he didn't want it or anything like that. He's angry at this charge. Listen to the exchange between him and an audience member.
That's not in it. Because we couldn't get it through Congress. That's why.
Okay, that's why. He couldn't get it through Congress. Otherwise, it would have been there. No, you said you were against it after you said you were for it. So you have to look at it through their eyes and listen. One of the steps to drive private insurers out is to make them unprofitable. See, that's how they know. They couldn't pass it through Congress, so they know. They just build a system and then force it to collapse slowly but surely through all kinds of regulations. You make insurance unprofitable. Obamacare mandates insurers cover all pre-existing conditions. They cannot refuse anyone. Well, that's like telling the casinos that they must cover everybody. Everybody must win, even if they don't make a bet. Well, casinos will go out of business. Yes, but it's fair. They won't even recognize. They don't need all that money. They won't even notice all that money's gone. All right, that leaves the door open for people now to not pay for their health insurance, but soon as they get sick, they call on these companies and then sign up for health insurance, and then the insurance company has to pay when they're sick. Insurers have done the math. They will lose money big time. They will not stay in business, so they are dropping out of the market. Now, who's going to get blamed? Of course, the media will spin it as the big evil insurers. And who will be there to save the day? The government. Collapse the system, but make sure, see if this sounds familiar. I told you this over a year ago. Make sure you have the net, the framework, so it collapses into your arms. This is the progressive pattern. Create a crisis so people say, fix it. And then you have the structure and the solution in place. Well, people, luckily, are becoming more and more aware of what is going on. 61% of the American people now believe we are on the wrong track. I can't believe it's not higher than that. 68% of Americans believe lowering taxes is the way to create jobs. So why aren't they doing it? Because, as I showed you last night, it's not what they believe. They do not believe in the free market system. They do not believe in small government. I told you in their own words what they believed. So now, if you look at it from their perspective, now their actions make seemingly bizarre actions totally understandable. Why do they refuse to lower taxes? Because it will grow jobs. It makes America stronger. It makes individuals wealthier, and it makes them in turn less dependent on government for solutions and more difficult for them to achieve the goal of global redistribution of wealth and global government and global governance. It becomes clear why our wealth is falling. It's by design. The current science czar, John Holdren, he advocates for the de-development of America. Well, if you're advocating for the de-development of America, think of that, then your science czar would be happy to see the wealth go down because it's the leveling of the playing field. Now, why do they not tell you what's in health care? Because they know you don't want government health care. But by the time you figure out that's exactly what they did, it's going to be too late because those companies will be out of business. They'll be gone. Once America figures it out, it's too late. That's why they've got to make all of this stuff sound like a conspiracy theory. That's why they do everything they can to just keep it under the cover, just accuse, crazy. But then it ends up happening. Well, why? Because you've lost now a year and a half. It's going to become too late eventually when the rest of America figures it out. Why do they hide the real debt? Because they know you're not this person. You're not Cloward and Piven. You don't want to collapse the system. You don't want to have Bill Ayers and Acorn and SEIU and everybody else, these global elites. This isn't you. You will do the hard thing, so your children will have an opportunity to have an America and a chance for liberty later on. So what they do is they hide it. They keep going with this charade until they've got their structure in place, and then they have complete control over you. Now listen to me. That is a powerful statement. That is an amazing claim to make on national TV, to say that progressives in power right now, these people, are putting in place a system that will control every aspect of your life. How does Rupert Murdoch keep me on the air if that's not true? Well, he keeps me on the air because I have the proof to back it up. They're words. I have them on tape saying these things. Let me start with the most dangerous man in America, Cass Sunstein. Here he is. He seems like a nice guy. I know Republicans who love him. I know Republicans who say I'm crazy about that. That's fine. That's fine. Let the evidence of his actions and his own words, and you decide. Let me put him out. You decide. I say he's the most dangerous man for a couple of reasons, and for about a year and a half you haven't understood because you haven't seen his work, and I haven't been able to point to his work until now. But now that I can, look out, the clock is ticking. He doesn't have to post his work online anywhere. He doesn't answer to you. He doesn't have to hold a press conference. He doesn't have to do anything except what he wants to do. And you're not going to know anything about what he's done until long after he's gone. Now, that's the first reason. First reason he's dangerous because you never see him coming. But he's also dangerous because beside the unlimited, unchecked power that he has to regulate every single industry and every single person in America, he also believes that the best solution for America to fix it, because we both agree it's unsustainable, is the redistribution of wealth and a global government run by elites. Remember, he sees you as Homer Simpson, in his own words.
Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them.
I mean, how many times do I have to play that on television before Americans are outraged? Once you know who they are, then you can manipulate them. I'm going to get to some old dusty books today, because this has happened before. Unintelligent. That's who you are. You're incapable of making decisions that will ultimately better America and the globe. The reason why this show is successful is because I say the opposite is true. Sunstein wants to control you. He's helping the government control you. He fancies himself, his words, a choice architect. And so he's going to take out all of the bad choices and leave you with only the ones he sees as good ones. So in other words, you go in and order your McDonald's hamburger. Would you like carrots or broccoli with that? Well, I want French fries. No, I'm sorry. These are the choices. That way you can't ever choose poorly. You are a lab rat. You have been tricked into compliance with their global redistribution of wealth, leveling the playing field scheme. And every day that we play Republican and Democrat politics is another day we lose. Don't you see they are using us on that game? You have to see it through their eyes. Remember, this is what they see. Things are unsustainable. That's the problem. Everybody knows it's unsustainable, so that's the problem. How to solve it now? We say free market and small government. They say redistribution of wealth, not between the rich, not from Rupert Murdoch to you, but from you to Venezuela. Redistribution of wealth and global government run by elites. Once you understand this, this story is going to make sense. This is happening today. Hillary Clinton wants global standards for cook stoves. What? If you are looking at life, free market solutions, small government, and this is unsustainable, this makes no sense. You say, what is she doing?